Hello, everyone, and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, 2 men were sentenced in 8th District Court on Wednesday. 46-year-old John Christopher Burt of Brashear was sentenced to 20 years in prison for a 2016 indecency with a child by sexual contact charge. Burt was arrested in July 2018 after a lengthy investigation by the State Attorney General's Office and the Hopkins County Sheriff's Office. 57-year-old Darrell Christopher Simmons of Sulphur Springs was sentenced to 12 months in a state jail for possession of less than 1 gram of a controlled substance. Simmons was arrested in October last year. In other court news, 48-year-old Kimberly Lynn Hooten was sentenced to 10 years in prison for theft of people's insurance premiums while serving as an insurance agent. The district judge indicated that he would consider shock probation in this case after 180 days of the sentence had been served. A hearing on that possibility has been set for Monday. And 48-year-old Kimberly Beth Tucker of Carrollton was charged with bond forfeiture in connection with her arrest in September last year for possession of more than 1 gram of a controlled substance, but under 4 grams. A $20,000 bond was set for the previous forfeiture. Paul Harvey, the president and CEO of Christus Mother Frances Hospital, Sulphur Springs, told the hospital district board Tuesday that the hospital has been very busy the past 2 months. Harvey said there's been a 28% increase in patient admissions during November alone. The emergency department has seen a 16% spike. Harvey said the number of flu cases are increasing, but have not had a significant increase. The hospital district board approved purchase of 2 new ambulances for the EMS fleet, and the board also gave the go-ahead to begin the process of hiring an architect to design a new EMS building.
Here at KSST, we had a visit from not Santa, but Father Christmas, and we had a chat with him. Philip Gabbard and his wife Barbara moved to Sulphur Springs earlier this year. They are business owners and volunteers in the community. Let's meet Father Christmas.
Like I say, Philip Gabbard, been doing this for about 12 years now.
Okay.
And just recently moved here to Sulphur Springs. We really enjoy the community and all that. Been one of my biggest jobs is working on computers. Been doing that since Moby Dick was a minnow. And in the winter times, when it's Christmassy, then I look at being the Father Christmas to spread the love and joy to everyone.
Okay. You know, I met you downtown during the Main Street Market, and I just accidentally came upon you and your wife standing there curbside in the booth area that you had, and it makes you just stop, and your mind is searching for that little piece of information that makes you know what your name would be. I just said Father Christmas. So
and that's it.
Yeah. But I was taken aback because, you know, Santa Clauses were out and about, and you just have a different origin than Santa, really.
It's a European origin of it, and when we first settled in America, this was the flavor of Santa Claus that they had, and the whole concept was to have family gathering and enjoy family and enjoy the spirit that we're supposed to be celebrating every year, and that's the love and joy of helping people in need and spreading the Christ child at Christmas time.
It seems to me, we were talking about the real commercial aspect of the traditional Santa Claus, and he's about people spending to buy gifts, and he's about children receiving gifts and wanting to say what they want to receive.
Right. And I do some of that, but I try to get the children to think more of because I had one child with a whole list of things. I said, listen, it's Christmas time. I know you love to receiving gifts. What's one important gift that you think you would like to have for this year for Christmas? And they stop and think. I says, well, I just want to be loved. So instead of a whole list of things, he says, I just want to be loved. I said, start with yourself. Love yourself, then you start loving everybody else.
I've never heard Santa Claus say that, but there probably are Santas who do preach that. When I met you downtown, immediately after I realized that you and your wife were real people and kind people, you had that image, then it felt peaceful talking to you.
And that's the whole nature that we try to portray. Being a minister myself, being in the military, serving in the military and all that, the whole focus behind what we should be doing is service to others. And if you have that aurora around you, then people will feel more comfortable about it instead of being agitated about everything else that goes on.
Well, you have been doing this character for 12 years, you say.
Yes.
But this is your first year in our town.
Yes.
Okay. So have you gotten to do many appearances, or do you just show up at places, or how do you operate during Christmas season?
We normally try to get people to call us and book us.
Okay.
And we normally charge $150 an hour, but that's variable.
Okay.
But right now, we're going out there just getting people to know that we're here and letting people know. We have 2 more events scheduled this year. We've got the Friday luncheon with the Veterans Center of North Texas in Plano. And then we also have the Methodist Church Christmas breakfast on Christmas Day.
Yes.
That they have asked us to be there. So we're going to be there too.
That is a lovely thing that our First Methodist Church is doing for the community. And you are, as you mentioned, are a veteran. You are associated and serving now in our VFW post.
Yes, I'm a chaplain for the post, and I'm also the adjutant, who's responsible for the communications and making sure we get our information out to the public and filed for the headquarters.
Okay, and those are important jobs to do. Also, you are an ordained minister.
Yes.
On the personal side, and so tell us how and why you are that.
Before I became Father Christmas, one of the things was that I felt like I needed to be a minister because I've had some people ask me to marry them. So that's the reason I got ordained. And then at the same time, we were developing different characters for the Renaissance, and I just enjoy trying to help people whenever they are in need. And one of the counselors I had at the time that says, if you're going to be serving children, you need to be a minister. That way you can have that title, so to speak, to help with the children.
And are you in a capacity now with an organization to help out or reach out to children?
I'm not associated with it, but my affiliation is with the Heart Center, who's based out of Montana.
Okay.
And we do have a little chapel ourselves on our property where we're at. So I can do some reach out for children, or if people are looking for unique ways of getting married, then that's where I can come in and help.
How interesting. So do you feel like coming to Hopkins County either has helped expand your horizon or given you a place to expand those ideas you already had?
It's a place to expand some of the ideas I already have. I mean, I used to live in Dallas, in the Allen, Plano area, and it was getting really hectic there, and too much industry, too much commercialism, and I wanted to get into the country. My whole family's been in the country, and now it feels like I'm back home.
Good. We love to hear that. Now, you are semi-retired. You have a business that you and your wife operate, and I was surprised because I was going to ask you what you did formerly before you did computer repair and computer work, but you say you've always done it.
Yes. The first computer I ever worked on, which I built for a high school project, was back in 1971. And after I graduated in 72, I ended up going into the Air Force, working on computers, the mainframe computers down to the desktop terminals.
Okay.
And I've been in it ever since. And that's where my tagline is, been in the industry since Moby Dick was a minnow.
Okay. So you have seen its birth and as it's growing up.
Yes.
Well, back on, and so there's so many facets to what you do, you and your wife. Her name is Barbara.
Yes.
And when I met you downtown, she was standing alongside you in a lovely costume that she makes.
Yes.
I mean, this is beautiful.
That's part of her hobbies. She's a seamstress.
Okay.
So she makes clothes and all that. That's her sidelines, and I do all the computer work, and we always say I'm the high tech, she's the low tech.
I like that too. Well, let me describe your costume to those who are listening. The forest green velvet robe over like a burgundy long outfit. It's sort of like a dress.
Yes, it's like a nightgown type.
Okay.
Velveteen, stretch velvet, red.
Okay.
And then we've got the velvet green coat with fur wrapped around, and that's one of the things that we look at.
Your hat is sort of traditional Santa with the fur trim and a little pointed thing, I guess, back there in the back. And you wear a belt.
Yes, I do have a belt, a green belt with different type of rubies and emeralds around it.
Okay.
And I wear it like a tie around the waist, so it hangs down.
And it is beautiful. And the walking stick that you use?
The shepherd's crook with the ivory wrapped around it. It's a kind of bringing back the traditional ideas that Santa Claus or Father Christmas normally would have.
Okay. Well, I love the old-fashioned Christmas cards. In fact, I have a couple of paintings that I always hang at Christmas time, and it's the old-fashioned Santa or Father Christmas, and he comes in where children are sleeping, and he's quietly, doing something very giving, very loving, and I love that depiction. Also, you see Father Christmas on some of the old Christmas cards in the woods, sort of in a wooded scene.
Yes. Santa Claus or Father Christmas originated from the wood environment, making toys, making things for children and all that, and then he would distribute them to those who were good during the Christmas year time period without leaving any traces of anything behind, but they would just drop off the toys. And that's exactly how it got started initially in the celebration that we see.
Now, in your wife's sewing and costuming that you both do, you also go to Renaissance festivals.
Yes, we do appear in the Renaissance festivals. We helped form the Hopkins County here in Sulphur Springs Renaissance Festival last year, and then we also were part of the characters because I'm dressed up as a wizard. This time I was Merlin, I was not Merlin, I was Balthazar, the Blue Wizard, as in Lord of the Rings.
Amazing. And does your wife dress at the Renaissance festivals?
Yes, this last year was a Rose Fairy.
Okay.
So she dresses up different characters, but I'm usually more focused along the wizards.
Okay. Well, your long, straight, white beard and all that just lends itself perfectly to your persona. When you are Father Christmas and she's standing alongside in costume, what is she called?
She's usually called Mother Christmas, and it usually depends on what the events that they book us for. That's typically the title we use, Father and Mother Christmas, unless we're in one of the outdoor settings, then she's probably going to be called Mother Nature.
Okay.
Like the Herd Museum in McKinney, it's Father Christmas and Mother Nature. That's how they advertise us. But it's the same outfits, same costumes and all that. So when the kids come up and see me, they always say Father and Mother Christmas.
Okay.
So,
well, you are new to our area, and we'll look forward to seeing you as we might get a glimpse of you the rest of this season. And then is it Wednesday morning, December 25th?
December 25th.
for the Christmas breakfast, free to the community at First Methodist Church.
Yes, this is the first year that they're trying to do something like that. And when I was there at dinner bill, I happened to talk to one of them. I said, do you need somebody special? And they said they had to talk to the board, and they called me back and begged me to be there. So my wife and I will both be there.
That's lovely. And now you're a part of our community and many things that you're involved in.
Yes.
And I just have to say once again, if you meet Father Christmas and Mother Christmas, there is definitely just a sensation of love, joy, peace that is evoked from your appearance.
Well, thank you.
And I think you're exactly on track.
In sports, this has been quite a week for Tristan Abram, former Wildcat football coach, former Wildcat assistant coach, and former Wildcat defensive coordinator, now the head football coach at Paul Pewitt. His Brahmas will play for the Class 3A Division II state championship Thursday at 7 p.m. against Gunter at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Both teams have 14-1 records. Wednesday, on their way to Arlington, Coach Abram and his Brahmas stopped by the Sulphur Springs High School multipurpose building for a brief workout. They also visited the Sulphur Springs High School cafeteria, where they could not help but notice Paul Pewitt spirit signs in the cafeteria. Coach Abram was touched by his hometown support. He said Paul Pewitt is now his home, but he added his home will always be Sulphur Springs. As they left Sulphur Springs, the team was headed to Arlington. Coach Abram wanted his team to get used to the stadium, so they took in the Refugio and Post Class 2A Division I championship game Wednesday night. Refugio won that, by the way, over Post 28-7. Coach Abram doesn't seem to mind that his team is considered the underdog in the championship game. He says the experts have been doubting his team all year long. Picked fourth in their district, the Brahmas ended up as co-district champs. Coach Abram indicated that each week in the playoffs, experts expected them to lose every week. He said the Brahmas want to make believers of everyone, and perhaps one more big win should accomplish that. The Saltillo Lady Lions picked up a non-district win against Wills Point, 52-30 at Saltillo Tuesday. Lady Lions got off to a good start, and they led after the first quarter, 19-7. Wills Point cut 3 points off the lead in the second quarter, but still trailed the Lady Lions 25-16 at halftime. The Lady Lions outscored Wills Point 27-14 in the second half to take that 52-30 win. Anna Reeder led the Lady Lions in scoring with 18 points. Chandler Bain had 7 points. Jocelyn Ochoa, Brittany Peoples, and Maddie Smith had 6 points apiece. Christina Wade scored 5 points, and Juliana Giles and Paisley Kastner had 2 points each. Lady Lions coach Bill Giles said that the Lady Lions played a good second half against Wills Point, and he added that they've had a good year so far going into the Christmas break. With district play coming up, Coach Giles said that the Lady Lions have got to keep improving every day in practice. He said the girls have put in time on their own, and he says it is continuing to show. With the win, the Lady Lions improved to 13-7 for the season. And Saltillo's Lady Lions currently ranked number 17 in Class A according to the Texas Association of Basketball Coaches poll. Lady Lions play next after Christmas at the Miller Grove Tournament. That'll be on December 27th and 28th. On December 27th, the Lady Lions will play Como-Picton at 9 a.m. and then Chess at 2:15 p.m. And that's Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for watching, and so long, everybody.